again, and welcome to another edition of Southern Country. I'm Herb Southern. Welcome to the show, my friends. Today we're in Edison, New Jersey at the Thomas Edison Menlo Park Museum. Jack is next to me. He's the director of the museum. Jack, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much.
We're standing in front of a very important building behind us where it has a lot of
neat things.
Neat things, there you go. Tell us what the neat things are we're going to go see.
Well, I'll tell you, this is Menlo Park, and this is the location of what was Thomas Edison's Menlo Park laboratory. The museum here is filled with many of the objects that Thomas Edison worked with, improved or invented. This here is an incredible place because this was the location of the world's first organized research laboratory. And it's also where Edison perfected the telephone, invented the phonograph, perfected the incandescent light bulb, the electrical distribution system, vacuum packing food, so much.
Gee.
They even worked on the electric train here.
Wow.
But in this museum, you'll see amazing things. And just think of this, any research facility in the world today bases what it does on what was developed here in Menlo Park by Thomas Edison, the whole art of organized research. He was named the Man of the Millennium by Life magazine in the year 2000, having influenced the last 1,000 years more than any other individual in history. That's saying something.
I can't wait to go in.
Yeah, let's go have some fun.
Let's go. Well, Jack, we're in the museum. Talk to me, my friend. How's that?
All righty. Well, what we have in here are some amazing things, a lot of one-of-a-kind things.
Okay.
We have in here the patent model for the telephone mouthpiece,
Wow.
which was developed here in Menlo Park. We have very early light bulbs. They used bamboo for a filament for the light bulb.
What years are we talking about this?
1870s.
Okay.
1870s is when Edison was here, from 1876 to 1884. 400 patents
Whoa.
in that space of time. Also, as I mentioned, that in here we also have a wide array of phonographs. The phonograph was Edison's favorite invention. He called it my baby. And this museum is liberally dedicated to that.
Okay.
We have lots of other items here, original notebooks and so many things that dealt with Edison and his work. And although this is a small museum, it is chock-filled with some of the most amazing things that you'll see anywhere.
A lot of history between these four walls.
They sure are.
Jack, talk to me about that tinfoil phonograph that's right behind you.
Well, this is Edison's favorite invention, the phonograph. And actually, the first recording ever made was on December 6, 1877, in which Edison recited a nursery rhyme, Mary Had a Little Lamb. What I'd like to do for you right now is record on the tinfoil phonograph and let you see how it works. I have to yell, just to warn you.
Go do it, my friend.
Okay. All righty. Okay, here we go. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. I think you heard that.
I heard it.
Okay. Now we're going to rewind this.
Good thing I have to do this at the radio station every time I play a record, Jack.
We call this aerobic entertainment.
Well, I'll tell you, it's really interesting.
Okay, now. Oh, sorry.
Interesting.
Okay, here we go. That's what the first type of recording would sound like on foil. That's amazing when you think about it.
Unbelievable. I don't even want to talk about what it's made of because it's interesting.
Yeah. You know, the thing is that they called Edison the Wizard of Menlo Park because of this invention.
Wow.
Because it was impossible.
This was the first record of anything, right? This was it, right? The tinfoil.
The tinfoil style of recording is the first type of recording, yes. It was on a machine that was quite small.
Jack, we're in the light bulb wing of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about these unusual light bulbs and what makes them light.
Well, in here we have incandescent lights, which of course, as I mentioned, Edison didn't invent the light bulb, but they perfected it here and made a viable system. And that was done by Charles Batchelor, who was his #1 assistant in his hands. Okay. What they used to make their light bulbs work, they used bamboo.
Wow.
Bamboo is a filament, and the bamboo came from Yawata City, Japan, to be exact.
How many years ago did they stop bamboo?
Well, using it in about 1894.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Okay.
But in this case, you'll see the very first light bulb made with the name Edison on it.
Okay.
And that's from the Hammer collection. And Hammer was one of Edison's assistants and became the historian of the group. And that collection's in the Smithsonian today, except for the star of the Hammer collection. And it's always fun to have stuff that the Smithsonian doesn't.
Which is?
So there's lots of other stuff. We have pictures of the first photograph taken with incandescent light. We also have the patent model for the telephone mouthpiece. We have the Edison effect bulb. A lot of really neat, one-of-a-kind items.
They don't have them anywhere in the world but here.
Yeah,
This is it, huh?
That's a good place to have them, where they were made.
You're looking at them right here in Southern Country. Well, Jack, we're in the notebook wing of the museum.
Yes. And you know something? To see notebooks that have Edison's writing is really something odd and rare. And we have some wonderful examples here at the museum. We have one notebook dealing with Edison's experiments with recorded sound. We have another one dealing with electric streetcars. And probably the most fascinating one is one that was not used by Edison for making notes, but also contains drawings. Wow. And in here we have the drawings for the first type of screw-in light bulb, which was based on the characteristics, at least the screw-in part of the light bulb, of the spout of a kerosene can.
Get out, yeah?
Yeah. Edison was holding a kerosene can and his hand was unscrewing it. And they said, why don't we use this in the bottom of the bulb? It's pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
You will see here drawings for the first type of screw-in light bulb and the first screw-in light bulb.
Is that exactly the bulb?
That's if you look at the characteristics of the drawing and the bulb, there you are.
Matches up.
Yep. And that's pretty neat.
Pretty neat. You know, I noticed a check there. It says Thomas Edison check.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
One of his checks.
Wow.
You know, I thought of cashing it, but I don't know if it will work. But the whole thing is that this museum, as I've mentioned before, may look small, but when you come in here, you will find so much. Because you know something, it's not because of the size of the museum, it's the contents within.
Exactly. You can spend hours here, my friends. Well, my friends, we're wrapping up this edition of Southern Country at the Edison Museum in Menlo Park, New Jersey. Jack, thank you. You've been a great host. Tell us what we're closing the show on.
Well, we're going to close with, of course, Edison's favorite invention again, the phonograph. And this is a record. Now, today we don't think of this as records. Actually, today people get confused when you mention record because they think of CDs.
Unbelievable.
But Edison was very fond of the cylinder record. And you mentioned 45s and 33s. Sure. This is a 160, 160 RPMs. And so we'll put it on the phonograph, give it a crank, turn it on, and without electricity, entertainment. Pretty good sound, huh?
Good as a 45.
Yeah. It's almost 100 years old.
Almost CD quality. Hey, while we're listening to this website.
Yeah, the website for the museum is www.menloparkmuseum.com. And on there you can hear recordings, lots of information on the history of Edison and of recording.
Pretty good website. I was checking around, you know, and it's pretty interesting what's on the web about this museum. Jack, thanks again for this. No taking it out with music, huh?
Oh, okay. Well, why not? Let's let it go. Why not? It's a way to end it.
Way to end the show, huh?